Hello, everyone, and welcome to some MiSTer FPGA news. In this episode, we will be talking about a Sharp X1 computer core in development, arcade save states, a portable MiSTer FPGA that's also in development, new arcade cores, a Jaguar CD core, some bad news for those in the United States that want to buy a MiSTer Pi or a QMTech FPGA, and more. Also, check out my channel sponsor, MiSTer Add-ons, a place where you can get all your MiSTer needs, things like full MiSTer setups, accessories, I/O boards, and more. Now let's get to the news. A new Sharp X1 FPGA core is in development by Jason A. The plan is to first create a core for the first model of the X1, which is the CZ800C. Jason then plans to move on to the X1 Turbo once this first version is working. At the moment, all parts are integrated, but some still need more work. The core is still at the simulation stage, so no MiSTer release has been compiled yet. The Sharp X1 is a series of Japanese home computers that lasted from 1982 to 1988. It did receive ports of several popular arcade games, and strangely, the X1 did get some Nintendo Famicom games ported to it due to a relationship that Sharp had with Nintendo. Tito from Macho Nacho's Productions has a video on a unique variant of the X1 that goes over that relationship. The developer Jason A has developed many cores for the MiSTer FPGA, so consider donating to their Ko-fi page to show support for the hard work creating these cores. If you are an owner of the Sinden Lightgun, you will be glad to hear that the MiSTer FPGA supports the Lightgun. If you need a guide to get it up and running, you can check out Pixel Cherry's Ninja Guide on the Sinden, which was put together by Terminator 2K2. The MiSTer FPGA has become a great device to enjoy lightgun gaming using modern light guns. Recent updates have added support for the Sinden Lightgun, lightguns from Retro Shooter, and also the OpenFire lightguns. I've never heard of the OpenFire lightguns before, but reading its website, it says that it is an open source firmware that will allow users to build their own lightguns. Check out the OpenFire page if you want to find out more about these lightguns. And if you need a guide for the Retro Shooter lightguns, check out the one that I created. Links will be in the description. Snice has released more wallpapers for the MiSTer FPGA. There's a wallpaper for Rolling Thunder, a 4x3 wallpaper for Gryzor, which is what Contra was known in some places outside the US, and a wallpaper for Capcom's Magic Sword. You can obtain these wallpapers by enabling Snice's wallpapers in the Update All scripts. QMTech showed off a MiSTer FPGA I/O board meant for handheld application. It was inspired by design created by What's Ken Making. QMTech does say that the I/O board is almost ready. However, the manufacturing plans will be delayed due to chip pricing reaching unreasonable rates, with QMTech citing the trade war between the US and China. This I/O board will also only work with the QMTech FPGA that has onboard memory built in, so you can't use the original DE10 Nano, the MiSTer Pi, or QMTech's FPGA board that has no RAM built in. The social media post shows a few images of the board along with a video running the MiSTer FPGA software. I also highly recommend that you watch Ken's videos that inspired this handheld. His videos go over the entire process on creating an open source MiSTer FPGA handheld. The CoinOp Collection team have released a core for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Turtles in Time, an excellent Konami beat-em-up. CoinOp Collection mentions that this would have not been possible if not for the reverse engineering efforts of Furtek. The core supports all known variants of Turtles in Time, and there is high score saving support. The free public Patreon post has the core download and some technical details on how the core came to life. The core is also available through Update All, so run that now to get it. If you are not satisfied with super fast downloader updates and prefer super duper fast updates, then the Epsilon has you covered. A compiled version of Downloader is now available, called Downloader_bin. Compiled binaries offer much greater speeds than an interpreted script because when you compile code, you create a file that speaks a language the machine can understand directly. The regular Downloader script uses the Python interpreter, which means the interpreter has to translate the code in real time to a language the CPU can understand. So, just like with spoken languages, you can communicate more efficiently with someone that speaks the same language as you than with someone who doesn't and will need a translator as an intermediary. The Epsilon decided to compile Downloader because while working on optimizations, it was clear that the D10 Nano's ARM CPU was becoming a bottleneck. There are a lot of interesting technical details on the free Patreon article, so check it out if you want to read more. This new downloader will be installed when you run update all, and it will show up as a new script called downloader_bin. However, it will not run automatically. It must be run manually. Right now, it is at the release candidate stage, so more testing needs to be done before it can be officially added to the regular update process. Please consider contributing to the Epsilon's Patreon. There is a lot of work that goes into making these updates seamless, and we save a lot of time because of these updates. Just imagine having to download each individual core, MRA, MiSTer binary, Linux update, cheats, controller profiles, unofficial developments, and so much more. Along with the hard work that the core developers do, these downloader updates help make what the MiSTer FPGA project is. While working on the Title F2 core, developer Martin Donlin mentioned implementing save states on the core so it can be more easily debugged. That save state support is paying off as an unstable build of MiSTer main now has save state support for arcade cores. This doesn't mean that every core will all of a sudden have save state support. A core would have to be designed with save states in mind for this feature to work. Jotego has released a beta core for the Rolling Thunder arcade core. This is a popular run-and-gun shooter made by Namco and released in 1986. Since this is a beta, it is only available to Patreon subscribers, but as soon as the core is stable, it will be released to the public. In addition to releasing a beta core for Rolling Thunder, Jotego also updated some current cores. These updates include fixing misaligned sprites and quiet sound effects in Aliens, fixing a crash at the end sequence of Bay Route, and fixing some low music and sound effects in some System 16 games. Jotego's team is also looking at solving problems with graphic layers on the System 18 core. Before a public release, they are looking to add more games to the core, but the graphics layers are all messed up at the moment, so they are not playable. Jotego is saying for us to expect a mix of Sega System 18 and Namco System 86 releases for a few weeks. While there is already a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 core out now, Jotego is still working on getting that game working in the JT Riders core. These games share similar hardware, but Ninja Turtles 2 has a specific sprite chip that needs to be implemented. At the moment, the JT Riders core can boot Ninja Turtles 2, but sprites are not shown because of the missing chip. Vertec is still working on finishing the reverse engineering of the sprite decoder chip, so as soon as that is done, Jotego can start adding it to the JT Riders core. A Jaguar CD FPGA core by developer Grey Rogue is in development. This core aims to bring the limited library of Jaguar CD games back to life, with a few titles already operational. However, there's still a lot of work that remains to improve compatibility and performance. Currently, the core requires a dual RAM setup, but efforts are being made to get it working for single RAM configurations. I believe there were around 13 retail games that were released for the Jaguar CD, and there seems to be some games that were exclusive to the console, so it will be great to try those games out. To get the core, head over to the Atari Jaguar channel on the MiSTer FPGA Discord. Retro Remake recently reopened orders for the MiSTer Pi. Last time I tried to purchase it, but all my orders were rejected. I tried again this purchase windows, and again, all my orders were rejected. I contacted their support about this issue and they said they will look into it. But they also gave me some info that will affect you as customers. Their support told me that Retro Remake have temporarily closed the sales window for the US due to the terrible tariffs. So it may be a while before US customers will be able to purchase a MiSTer Pi. This might also be the case for the QMTech FPGA boards too. I say this because I checked for stock on their full MiSTer FPGA kit, and their page tells me that the product cannot be shipped to my address even though they do list 4 in stock. There's also an add to cart button that I can press, and when I do press it, I get this message. It says this item is no longer available, sold out, or the store discontinued selling it. If added to your cart, you can still view it under the expired items section. If I check stock for their standalone FPGA board, they are out of stock and there is no option to add it to my cart. So this just makes me believe that the tariff situation is also making QMTech not ship to the United States. If you want an easy way to launch Sharp X68000 computer games, then the team behind the Amiga Vision and the 0 MHz DOS collection projects have you covered. They've now released Neon 68K, which is a similar project for the X68000 computer. If you have used Amiga Vision or the 0 MHz DOS collection, then you should know what to expect with Neon 68K. To get the full details on this project, check out the MiSTer FPGA forum post to get more information. And other miscellaneous MiSTer fixes and updates are, for the PCXT core, there are now fine adjustments of CRT vertical and horizontal offsets. In addition, the selected CGA mode is taken into account internally so that the offset values do not need to be readjusted according to the mode displayed on the screen. For the Mac Plus cores, there is an audio fix that when sound output is disabled, the drive output is high, the keyboard scan codes were updated, and the framework was updated. For the MiSTer FPGA Linux, in addition to the retro shooter Lightgun support, the Linux update addresses long-standing USB issues. The latest release contains a USB fix from Martin Donlin, and hopefully it will help with those having issues with some USB devices. The release also contains tweaks to improve Wi-Fi connectivity. Zapiru Core version 2.3.0 is also now available. It adds stable support for Battlesera and revamps the playlist feature and adds heaps of smaller improvements. So that's it for this episode. Please also try to support Sorge, the maintainer of the MiSTer project, and other MiSTer developers and contributors on support platforms such as Patreon and Ko-fi. Their hard work allows us to enjoy this amazing project. I also provided links to all my sources in the description. Make sure to also check out RetroRGB.com to see my MiSTer news videos in blog form and to get more retro-related content. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and this bell icon so you can get notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.